Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I know today was just a little bit red there for the Mag 7, but I really think that things might have to bottom out here, and a lot of weight's going to be on NVIDIA's shoulders tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what time the earnings are. We'll find out during the show and keep up with that because that's going to be a pretty important one tomorrow. It was pretty red today and tried to bounce up in the after hours, hitting that 200. We'll go over it. And we had a few poppers there. WAFU, that was moving. DOMH and a couple other ones are cruising along, looking good. So let's go ahead, check out the market, see what's going to be popping for tomorrow, what was moving today, and what's going to be good for the rest of this week, and especially NVIDIA since the earnings are tomorrow and it's going to be a big deal. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And how about crypto just getting destroyed? Bitcoin's down at 88,000. Solana's down to 143. Ethereum's at 2,485. Cardano's at 68. Ripple's at 230. And Doge is at 21. So just looking at the stock cube, cruise around there, and it is red and it is down. But guess what? I think it's going to be a golden opportunity, to be honest. I'll tell you when the bottom is, because I am going to load up, and in the next few months it's going to be running to its all-time highs. And it might not run that long, but I promise you in the next few months it's going to be cruising along there, and it will make people's lives change if you just do the right things and invest smart and wise right now. In a few months from right now, you'll be sitting back going, that was a good choice, because these dips are exactly when you can do it and you can really make money. So just keep that in mind. And again, I've been buying ETF 500. My buddy bought 1 million coins today and is buying more. So he's a big crypto guy, and he sees these meme coins and what happened and realizes. And again, I explained it to you. Once that supply gets locked up, you don't have these bots getting in here and destroying it. And Zach's not selling it. So guess what? When this all reverses, that's going to be a really strong coin, just like he did with Farcoin. And it will get moving, guys. So that could change your life too. I'm telling you, it's going to be a few months away. And you guys know when everybody is panicking, this is when you could tell I don't panic. I don't worry about it one bit. I actually enjoy it because I load up while everybody else is scared. And then while it's running up, I let go of my positions, and that's where you make your real money. And then people start buying it up at that top. And there you go. I mean, that's a constant dip and rip, or whatever they call, where they say that you pulled a rug on them. So it's just a constant thing where people buy them at the top and then they come down. So it is what it is. And but we try not to do that. Obviously, we look at them at the bottom and catch them on the way up, and then you just have to trade them smart, lock in those profits, and be smart about it. And again, you don't have to trade 1 million of them. You just want to focus on the good ones that you're really confident in, and then knock them out of the park. So just a heads up, because I'm telling you, these dip opportunities are definitely a really good opportunity. And just think about it, just going in, it is the beginning of Trump's administration, second term, and in between one, but it's a second one, and they did come in and just slash a ton of stuff. We knew it was going to be pulling back when it happened. It happened much faster than I expected, and probably anyone ever dreamed of it happening, but they just went in and went nuts. And you'd see a lot of pullback here, and that wasn't the only reason why it's pulling back, but it definitely pulled back for that. And then you'll have like jobs reports might come out a little lower because they just slashed a bunch of jobs. But guess what? In the long run and for the country, it's a much better thing. You're cutting jobs, like we explained, that there's like 5 people doing one person's job. They're just sitting around doing nothing all day, collecting money, because again, we pay for it. So it's not a bad thing. Maybe you went about it maybe a little crazy the wrong way, and it did disrupt the market. And of course, the Trump coin. Good evening, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, and then that Trump and Melania coin definitely disrupt crypto, obviously, and made everything get crazy. And then you had all the scammers coming out of the woodworks, and it just got really, really wild. But I'm telling you, I think it came down here for a reason. I think the institutions are really going to be loading up. They were dipping out the other day right before it crashed down, and they're going to be buying buying their positions right back up at these bottoms. And like I said, when other people are in fear, that's when people with the money and the smart investors, they start loading up on these things, just knowing that exactly what it's going to do. It's going to run up to its all-time highs like usual, and then it'll pull back again. So as long as you get in and get out at the right time, that's where you make your real money. So let's go ahead and check it out, see what we're going to be getting into. And honestly, short in the market today was pretty good. We knew Meta was going down, a few other ones, so it wasn't too bad at all. And let's go ahead and take a look. And now I understand the put side too. I wanted to play around a little bit. So yeah, we're going to hit this thing every which way. And I was saying the best opportunity is what we're looking at. We don't have to necessarily be options or small caps, penny stocks, anything, crypto, meme coin, whatever is the best opportunities and the trends. We're going to nail it. And they all have the same charts. We can look at it. And so we're not going to just say, hey, we're just going to trade this or that. We're taking the best opportunities. I think you're going to have to do that anyway. And I obviously love to pivot and stay with the trends. And I think that's exactly what you're going to have to do, including with crypto. Obviously, everybody thought it was going to run hardcore with Trump coming in. And then it just became a disaster with these meme coins. The dust will settle. And you can see, and just like everything else, Solana has already tried to cross through 3 times. It's going to be like the 4th time, way down in the basement. Solana does not like the basement, and it came down there for a reason. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy, guys, but I'm just telling you, keep an eye on them because it is going to get wild and things are going to get set up. And we already know that they're going to be running like crazy. And like I was saying, Trump's coming in. You know he's not going to let this market tank. You know during the summertime it's going to get wild. And I think that we're going to see them checks come out, whatever the heck they're called. And yeah, just imagine every taxpayer gets 5 grand. That'll, or even like 2,500's crazy, but they're already saying 5 grand. And yeah, that SPY right there, Luis Rodriguez was saying, liking that last hammer candle on the Dowie right at the first fib level, which usually sees a bounce the next day, looks good for a pop in the morning, bullish for tomorrow, and that is the SPY. And I have to kind of agree with Luis Rodriguez, and we'll definitely go over that for sure and everything else. And again, I think NVIDIA might try to bounce. I've been getting better with the earnings, not that I'll ever do it or really mess with them, but some of them you can kind of tell if they're going up and down. Remember, I forget which one it was yesterday, but the earnings were green and it came down, and kind of knew that was going to happen just from the positioning of it. There's been a few that tricked me and they popped up when I thought they might come down, but we'll look at NVIDIA and get ready for its earnings for sure. So let's roll through this list because we can blast through it pretty quick, just giving you a little overview of what's going on in the market, obviously, and getting you up to pace and up to speed. And here we go. Let's rock and roll. And if you guys don't see something on the list right here, if I miss something, just post a comment. We will go through it. You know that. And OCEA, the very first one, was down a penny today, but I think it was tried to move up in the after hours, and it is just pulling back as it's setting up, just like everything else. I'm not going to lie, but today could have been its bottom. It did get down to 10. It's at 11, and it's right there. It came down almost touching that trend line, almost what you wanted to see, and it's still in the basement, but I would watch for this thing to get set up and try to pop back up. It did run that one day right off the trend line, and I'll tell you exactly which day it was. It was February 19th, so what was it? Last Wednesday it was when it ran, and that was right off that trend line right there. So yeah, keep an eye on this bad boy, and we will see if it gets popping. If it pulls back a little bit more tomorrow, it's going to be like right there, ready to bounce off that trend line. So keep an eye on that because it does look like it's trying to set up right there. And that is OCEA. And good old Holo right here. Let's take a look at it because it was down another 9 cents. And I guess that run up the other day, it didn't want to get up to that 50 and it pulled back. And it's not even that bad. It just kind of pulled back to where its bottom was the other day at 106. What was today's bottom? 106. Look at that. And it did pull back right there and went kind of flat. It's still over that MACD. Let me see. And yeah, I think it might try to bounce up tomorrow. We've been seeing them run up like this and not be able to keep that momentum, pull back, get flat, and then run back up. And we've talked about that as well. So Holo could very well be a possibility that you might have caught it at that bottom again at that 106 and get it to run up, and maybe it'll run back up like it did the other day up to that 181 because it very well could. I mean, like I said, it's just flat and now it's over the MACD. It was bouncing off of there, but it could do it. So we'll keep an eye on Holo in the morning and see what that's up to right there because it's not looking bad. LRHC, and just like Luis Rodriguez was saying, he thinks it's going to bounce the SPY, and I think it might too. And obviously, things will be looking much better because you've had that Friday sell off yesterday and today. So I think things will look better. That LRHC is like right there. And it's unfortunate that the market's been a disaster right now because I bet this thing would have got cruising up today. You could actually see it wanted to, and it did pull back a little bit. And tomorrow it's right there to try to get moving as well. And that 20 is like right at that 30 cents. It probably should have jumped up around there today. I don't know if it would have got up there, but if the markets weren't just so rattled right now, this thing would have definitely got up to like that 29-cent area. You can just see it, and it's just hovering right here. It got up to 27. I didn't even notice it. Just looked up 25 to 27. So yeah, you can see. I was just looking at the thing going, well, it did pop up a little bit today, not as high. Yesterday got to 27, so I guess it was in the same area. Probably a little lower, like in the 27s. But LRHC not looking bad, honestly, and it could get moving tomorrow. Keep an eye on it. That setup's right there, and this market you can tell has just been kind of hampering it because it was setting up great, and it still don't even look bad. So it's fighting through and trying to get moving. What is the volume? 1.2 million. So there you go on that LRHC. That's that real estate one we were looking at, and SDOT's up some more, and this thing looks like it's about to run up to the top. It was at 356 right now. Let me see what it did today. I know I saw it moving. I just know that 320 up to 356, and that's where it's at, guys. So keep an eye on that in the morning. But we were early to the party on SDOT and knew it was going to be running up, and it certainly is. SATIC Group SDOT. So just keep an eye on that because it's approaching that top area right there and not looking too bad. So we will keep an eye on that. That is for sure, and that is your SDOT, and that's SATIC Group. And let's look at that DOMH because that was rolling up today. And we looked at it last night saying it was going to crawl off that MACD and get moving again. I said keep an eye on it. 10:04. It must have gapped up. It closed yesterday at 9:52. I know it was running around today. It opened at 10:04. It came down to 7:43, but then it closed at 9:25. And I know it was definitely running around today. I saw it moving, and it does look like it wants to try to crawl off of there. So keep an eye on this DOMH and see if it can roll off. We'll look at that in the morning and see if it can get curling right off that MACD. It could possibly run even higher than it did the other day, past that 13. And again, it got up to $10 and it does look good to me. So let's keep an eye on it. And Beyond Meat, this BYON, no, this is Beyond. I'm sorry, BYON. I was looking at the Beyond Meat earlier too, but this one, the BYON that we've been watching, this thing looks like it had that bottom too. And probably is going to get moving again tomorrow. It's bottomed out here at that 621, and they just had their earnings, what, to 24 yesterday they did. And so I think you're going to get turned back around right here with BYON Beyond and get cruising. So keep an eye on this one, BYON. And that one looks like it's trying to set back up there. And again, it ran up not long ago and it pulled back. And I think, and these things are actually, this one hit the 50. There's a lot of them hitting that 200-day SMA. And it's kind of interesting because you usually don't ever see it do that. But you're seeing them do that. This one's down at the 50 and it's keeping itself. So I would imagine it's going to start curling back up. And that should be its bottom today. So we'll keep an eye on BYON and make sure that's getting set up, but it looks good. And BURU, let's look at Nubaru right here and see what it wants. Oh, Nubaru is actually looking pretty good, to be honest. BURU, let's see. I know it was ran up that the other day on the 21st. which was last Friday. And then yesterday it was just hitting that 20. And today it actually went through it a little bit, 21 cents to 28, closed at 23, and is looking pretty good. Keep an eye on Nubaru. That 20 is right there, 26 cents. But it does look pretty healthy right there. I think it's trying to get set up. We'll see if it can get moving tomorrow. But BURU not looking bad. And that AIM was down like a penny, but nothing. Actually, it took a nice little dip. And here you go. Remember we were talking about, I said maybe this one will cross through just because it's working with that AstraZeneca and that bird flu stuff. It's not going to. It's going to follow the same pattern. It was hitting the MACD. It's pulling back right here for AIM. And watch when it gets yeah, I still don't think today was at bottom. I think it hit it. It got to 11 cents, and maybe it don't dip down that much harder, but it is going to try to get curled back up to cross through, and that's when it's going to do it. And you can see it was trying to do it a couple times here. It really hit it today and bounced off. So we will look at AIM, and obviously they do have that. And today, what's it say? AIM doses first new subject in that phase 2 study of Ampligen and Infenzi as potential combination therapy for late stage pancreatic cancer. They're working with all kinds of people. They were working with AstraZeneca for that bird flu. It's right here. So yeah, they're doing that too. They got all kinds of shit going on this AIM. So we'll keep an eye on this thing. I'm telling you, it's going to get set up and run. So you can see it. And again, we just started picking out this pattern that they're all running. So we know to be extra patient right now, especially when they're hitting the MACDs and it's not the third or fourth time. So we can definitely just lay off of some, keep an eye on them, and make sure they're definitely running before you jump in because, again, they can hit it and really pull back. So we'll see if this one wants to try to bounce back up tomorrow or if it's going to pull back. If it pulls back, it might get into the basement. But, again, it will crawl up and get crazy. So. And it does look like it has like 2 weeks to set up. So it very well could do that. And then, like I said, that next time. So just explaining these chart setups so you know what to look for. And OCGN did pull back 2 cents. It was up yesterday. They have their earnings coming up March 5th. That's next week. So not really nothing crazy, but it is pulling back at the moment, and it did cross down. It was trying to stay up over that MACD. I didn't even see it do that today. I guess I missed this one. And here we go. Let's see, 65 to 67, down to 60, and it's at 63. And it is pulling back just a little bit, and it has that trend line down here. So we'll see if it tries to pull back and bounce off of that. But I'm telling you, this thing's getting closer and closer to try to reset up here, or at least get like a really good bounce and see how it resets up. So that's OCGN, and it was running up, pulling back a hair now, and we'll see how that sets up for tomorrow. That SYRS was basically the same. It was setting up beautifully, and then took that big dip today, so that could be your dip and rip situation down to 14. It's back in over 15 and a half for SYRS, and that's that one we looked at, and that did I'm telling you, you got to be super patient right now. And here you go, 17 down to 15. It closed at 16, and we'll see. That could be that dip and rip because it's hitting that bottom, coming back to the MACD, and could bounce off. And again, they're not crossing through right away. They're bouncing off it like 3 or 4 times, just like they're doing the opposite underneath. So if they're over it, they're generally staying over it unless they really come crashing down. And this one looks like it bottomed out today. So we'll keep an eye on that SYRS and just see what it wants to do. This clue pulled back. It was up early this morning, CLEU, and it did cross through. And I'm telling you, it looks really good. So I don't know if it just keeps pulling back because it's going to have a huge dip and rip, but I'll tell you what, that candle got green today and it crossed through and looks way better. So you very well could have had that dip and rip. And again, you got to be so stupid, stinking patient right here. It's crazy. This one came down to 7.5 and it's moving back. It's still under 8 cents, but it does look pretty good as it's crossing through now. So we'll keep an eye on the CLEU for tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And again, you just have to be so patient right now because they are just taking their time and pulling back as they set up. And then you can kind of see that dip and then that rip look. And if you can get them anywhere down near that dip day, you know it's popping up really good. So That's what you have to look for almost on everything across the board right now, including crypto and all of it, because that's already done the dip, but everything's just staying down there so you can find your best opportunities. And same thing in the market. That LICN looked like it was trying to roll up yesterday, couldn't get through to 20, just running flat right there. So nothing bad. And again, these China little small caps are not looking bad still. They're bouncing around. Some are shooting up. This one went 8 to 6, closed at 7, and it's sitting right on that trend line, or at that 20, I mean, at 7 cents. So not looking bad for LICN, so keep an eye on that. We've been looking at it. And how about UPS? That was up today, and we knew this one was going to start running. And there you go, 118. What did it go to? It's up at 118, but it started out at 116, and it's at 118.34, and it closed at 118.12, and looks good to run up. So keep an eye on your UPS. And again, we knew that one the other day. It was just kind of bouncing around, but you could tell it was getting set up and looking good. We nailed Elf. It was down today, but that was a great one for yesterday. And it did just kind of pull. I didn't even notice it. Let me see. Did it pull back in the basement at some point? A little tiny bit. I think it could pull itself right back out tomorrow. So keep an eye on Elf to see if it wants to bounce back, but it did run up perfect for us. And then again, these things are pretty fast. They're not, you don't even have to wait like a couple weeks for them to keep running up. I think we'll get them run ups coming up in like a week or so. But right now, you're just playing pretty quick ones because they are. Everything's moving so fast, so you got to keep up with the trend and make sure you're in and out and take them profits. Lockheed Martin, look where that went up $8, and we were all over that early. We knew where that bottom was at 419, and it's at 450 right now. So there you go for LMT, and that's looking really good, popped up there. So there you go for Lockheed Martin, and it looks like it wants to continue its way up. So keep an eye on that. And our AAP was up $3, guys. There you go. Remember, I said I don't even like earnings, but I had a feeling this one was going to run up. Their earnings are tomorrow, and I have a feeling it's going to keep running up. It just looks like it, and it already, although, you know what? I don't know. It ran up today. We kind of figured it was today. I'm not sure. It's hitting that MACD for a second time, and it very well could stay down. I probably wouldn't play the earnings, but it did look good yesterday. So if you did play it today, be careful tomorrow on advanced auto parts. Maybe it runs up early, and then I don't know what time their earnings are, but just keep an eye on that AAP for that look, because that could run up, and like I said, then it could get a little weird with the earnings. And that HEPA was down, HEPA. This one was trying to set up, and this could be its bottom and dip and rip. It got down to like 0.1425, and it's back at 15 cent. So yeah, they all are doing it. I'm telling you, it's pretty wild. Even the pennies, the big caps, they're all just dipping and ripping and having big dips. So you have to be way, 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 way patient, like I keep saying. So just remember to stay very patient. And if it's not all the way down and had that dip and rip, and it's not looking perfect, chances are it's probably going to do that dip and rip. So AEHL, the good old antelope, that even pulled back today from 13 to 11 and closed at 13 and is looking pretty good today. So I would keep an eye on that AEHL. That's not looking bad for tomorrow, the good old antelope. And let's look at True Golf, because this one was just kind of sitting there a little bit flat today. And again, it's in that channel, and I think it might stay in here just for a little bit while it gets set up. I don't think it's bad. The 50s there, 52. Your 20s back here at 45, and we're sitting at 48, and it went 49 to 50 down to 47 at 48. So it literally went 47, 48, 49, 50, and it just went right around them numbers. And you might see it just keep bouncing around in these numbers as it sets up. So that is your True Golf, TRUG. And we've been keeping an eye on that bad boy. So we'll keep an eye on that and just know when it's really setting up there. And UOKA, guys, pull back a little bit, and it's getting to be in a really good spot. And this thing has been jumping around like crazy all over the place. So keep an eye on this UOKA. That's what it is, that MDJM LTD. And like I said, it's getting to be in a really good spot right there, and it has bounced up all the way up to what? psh, 20 cents. You're at 16. I know it like went crazy. What'd it go to this day? Hold on. What was that? Boom. 44 cents. I'm sorry. And yeah, it's at 16 and it's sitting there. It went to 23 the other day. And so yeah, it's not looking bad right here. And I would say it's trying to get set up. UOKA, keep an eye on it. And good old Riley, I know that ran up the other day. It did pull back. And let's see what it has. It's just hit again, another one where it's hitting that line, and I don't think it's really going to make it through. I'll look at it tomorrow and see. It did go up a little bit in the after hours there, RILY. We watched it the other day right before it was popping. It is hitting that MACD. It's in that channel too. So I'll have to take a look at it tomorrow and really see if it wants to. It's kind of giving you, it's hitting it up really hard, so maybe it will cross through. Generally, when they're curling up to it, they're not getting through, but this is like that 90-degree angle up. So maybe that will push it and get through. But I'll look at that RILY in the morning just to make sure. And if it does get through, it will get cruising. And that CYCU, again, just be super, super patient right here because they just keep on pulling back and pulling back. And this one got down to what, 69 cents, I think. I have to see what it is because I know I saw a dip today. It opened at 99. It got down to 70. So it did get way down there today and it closed at 85. So well, I'll keep an eye and tell you if that's that bottom. But again, you're just being super patient, and it still has some major time to curl up. And as it does, it can continue to pull back. We know that, so just be really patient. You don't need to jump in them right away. They're not just bouncing right off and going nutty. So ADTX already ran up, and that's been pulling back right here. It couldn't hold itself up by the 20 the other day, so that just came down, and it's back at 7 cents. So, and again, this thing had run up really well for us, ADTX. We knew it. And what it get up to like that 16 cents, and we were in it really early. So I think you gotta just lock them in as they're moving up. These things are like one dayers. You're not trying to play the second day unless you're trying to play it at 4 a.m. in the next morning because it's the only time you're gonna get to maximize that profit. If you're not trading at 4 a.m., lock it in the day it's running and just forget about it. And if it runs the next day, it runs the next day. What are you gonna do? I mean, how many MLGOs and what was that other one that we had that ran? I'm trying to think of it that ran like over 300%. Was that it? MLGO or something like that. It was them letters. It wasn't that one. It was MGLO or something like that. Whatever it is. I forget what the heck it is, but yeah, that one ran big time for us, and obviously a couple of them. But you can see they're not all multi-day runners, so you gotta lock them in when you can. And that CHSN dipped some more today, and I'm telling you, this thing just keeps pulling back here. And honestly, I don't know when that bottom. Maybe it was today. I thought it might have been yesterday for that CHSN, and it did just pull back that 2 cents. So it might have been that bottom right there, to be honest. Kind of looks like it. Got down to 21. Yesterday it got down to, I forget what was it at. 22. So it wasn't too much further down, and maybe that's going to be your bottom. It tried to base out up here at 37, and now you're sitting at 23. I mean, they are just unbelievable dips right here. All like, and it's not even just these penny stocks. Usually it is, but it's everything across the board. So you have to be extremely, extremely patient because if not, you can hop in them. Like I said, it was basing out here at 37, and all of a sudden it's at 23 cents 2 days later. And it happens fast with these things. They're just pulling back like machines. So just be careful, be patient, and definitely make sure you're catching them bottoms. LITM, I think that's going to be bottoming out right here. We'll make sure tomorrow and see if it's going to try to start curling up. But this Snow Lake Resources is looking much better, and that bottom should be right around that 41 cents, I would think. So we'll keep an eye on this one and see if that bottomed out. LITM. And there you go. I'll keep an eye on that to see if it bottomed. And that ASBP, that one had that huge dip. And let's see, Aspire Biopharma, and it is way down there. It's still in the basement. And again, I think it still has some time to get set up. It wasn't, they're not bouncing right off either, any like right at the moment. And this opened at 195 and got down to 166, and that's where it's at. So it got down to 160 and it's at 166. So that ASBP is another one. Just be super, like I said, just cool the Jets. You don't have to jump in them immediately, and because you'll be probably happy the next day that you're going to even get it at a better price, and the day after that, possibly even better. And we'll see when the markets, like I was saying Sunday night, it didn't look like it was going to be a popping market. Maybe it changes around tomorrow in the video, but right now, again, it's just kind of just pulling back at the moment, as everything is. That DGLY isn't a great spot, guys. So keep an eye on this thing. I think it was trying to run around today. 12. Oh no, it pulled back actually. It was up here. What did it gapped up? Yeah, because it closed yesterday at 9 and then opened at 12. I thought it was up there early this morning. I think we talked about it. And then it pulled back to 8 and it's at 9 again. So there you go. Ran up early and boom, DGLY pulled right back. So it's not like they're going crazy, and they are pulling back fast. That FUBO, that did pull back 17 cents. We were looking at it last night to see if it could keep bouncing up, and their earnings are on Friday right there. So we'll keep an eye on it. And again, it tried to curl up like once there, twice here, another one. And so this next time should be where it tries to run up, and we'll keep an eye on it because we know that pattern. And again, it's tried to curl up multiple times now, so we should get that curl up. And Weemy right here ran up yesterday, or the other day, was it Monday? It was, and that one's pulling back, hitting the MACD and a trend line. That's why I was looking at it. And I'll take a quick peek at it tomorrow. We'll see if it wants to try to bounce back up that WIMI. And that's one of them China small caps right there. And I'll let you know. And RETO, remember this thing? We were looking at it. It got up in the top, guys. I'm telling you, it ran up yesterday and then it ran up today again. And I'll tell you what, I think you want to look at this in the morning. It could be another momentum play right there. So it ran up the other day, Monday, it ran up to 194. Yesterday, 168. And then today it was running up to 123, I believe, up there. And yeah, it's not looking too bad. And when it's run up a little bit higher, it's been in the after hours. So for the most part, it's closing right around them prices, because yesterday it closed at about it was at 123 was its high. So it ran up, like I said, they're running up in the after hours more. And this RETO, you're going to want to take a peek at and look at it for tomorrow morning for that pre-market, and even tomorrow during the day. I think this RETO could be one of these ones that tries to run up in the top. It has that look right there. So definitely keep an eye on it. We were super early. We looked at it down here at like 40 cents. So it is moving there. And that is that Reto Echo Solutions right there. So just keep an eye on that bad boy. And we'll definitely see if it wants to run up there in the morning. So just see if that's a good momentum play right there. And TANH, let's look at Tan Tech Holding. And this is another China small cap, and again did the old 1 2 3. It's working on its fourth curl. It's in the basement, recently split. I think it's just waiting right now to get in the right spot, and it will get cruising right there. So I think that's what's going on with it. So we will keep an eye on it for sure and see what it wants to do right there. But I do believe that TANH is trying to get set up. Let that 20 come down for it's at like 360. It'll be right there. And it is just curling up. Maybe it gets through this time and it gets set up right. But another China, pretty much small cap, it just split. So it's up a little higher, the price wise. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on TANH. We've looked at it, and that BREA, that one ran, and I know it was running up yesterday. I think in the after hours, we were looking at this thing, BREA. And again, we've looked at every single thing that's popped. Yeah, yesterday 62 to 126, and then today 104 to 186, and it's at 87, not in one nothing. It's at 87 cents. So it definitely pulled back. But another one, honestly, I mean, watch it tomorrow. I don't know. I think that that after hours pop up right there. It kind of ran up some more up to that 186, and I think that's going to be it because honestly, this one, Finviz, unless it was early in the morning, it ran up because it says the high was only like one right under 126, so it's not even close. And so yeah, it don't really show you where it ran up, and it looks like it wants to run up more tomorrow, but I'm not so sure of that. So we'll look at that one in the morning as well, BREA, and I'll see what that wants to do. MFI, another one we looked at yesterday, that was running up today, and we did like it last night. I know a couple people were looking at it, so let's take a look at it and see what it did. It did just kind of curl up right. It was, remember, it was sitting on that trend line right there, and it did run up, and it ran up in the after hours yesterday. Went 67 to 148. It closed at that 130, and then today it opened at 151. Oh, it came down, but it did pop up there. I know because it closed at 130. It opened at 151, and now it's sitting at 72. But so it ran up early, just like we were talking about. Remember, I said, watch these things early in the morning at that 4 a.m. and that's when they're going to run when you're on Webull. Obviously, we know what to look for. We know when they're popping. You could have hit that popper yesterday and gotten out of it, but you can't just you can't extend them and try to stretch them out too far because that next morning at 4 a.m. when that market opens up, it's wild what goes on. So you have to be aware of that for sure. And I know some people were locking in WAFU. That one ran like crazy. And watch it again tomorrow because it did run up like a maniac today. 330 to 749, and now it's at 265. So if you didn't get out of it while it was running up, it's down lower. But just watch it tomorrow. We'll see. It probably topped out right there. I mean, it ran way up there, but it is kind of up there at the top. But I have a feeling it could be falling back. We'll just see if it has any pop in it. And again, you're going to want to watch that bad boy at 4 a.m. early in the morning and look at WAFU and MBRX. Let's look at that one. And that one might have bottomed out. Remember, we were looking at it yesterday as a matter of fact, saying it looked like it wanted to roll off that MACD. I was looking at it today, and it's exactly what it was trying to do. It went 188 to 220. It's at 136, and it's trying to roll off of there. So MBRX, keep an eye on that one because that's trying to roll off of there for sure. And let's look at that Rocket is RKT, Rocket Companies, and it's a mortgage company. I don't know if it's Yeah, I guess it is that. I don't know if it is that one. Whatever it is. Yeah, there was one Rocket. I guess it is that one. Yeah, I didn't know it was called Rocket Companies. But anyway, who cares? They have earnings coming up on Thursday. It looks like the 27th, but it looks really good. It's moving up there. RKT. And let's see what it's doing here. 1317 to 1387. And not looking bad for RKT right here. So Rocket Mortgage, that's what it's called. I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, it's Rocket Mortgage, isn't it? So I guess that might be it. I don't even know. RKT. And but it is looking good. It's over the MACD. It came down and hit it like once, twice, and now it's rolling back up. So keep an eye on that one. Not looking too bad for RKT right there. And YCBD, let's see, YCBD. That is the CBD MD right there. And that took a massive dip. That could be a little dip and rip. Well, I'll look at this one tomorrow. YCBD. And let's see why. It did run 43 to 52 and down to 33, but then it closed at 42. So yeah, we'll have to definitely keep an eye on this thing. YCBD. I don't see any news from today, and it is not looking bad right there to try to get set up at least. We'll see if it wants to pull back some more. It might want to have a little more pullback in it, and then we'll obviously see if it wants to run up. So I'll keep an eye on that one tomorrow, see what it's doing. And this ONVO, that one ran up like over 200% today. This thing went nutty. And I think somebody asked to look at it last night, or it was on the scan. It was somewhere. I forget where it was. But it went like 36 to 183. And it closed at 171. And I'm telling you what, it's not really looking bad, to be honest. It's up in the top. It's one of them ones that's way up in the top, and obviously can continue to run. And so yeah, keep an eye on it because clearly you can run that up in the morning if it wants to be one of the momentum plays. So keep an eye on that one for sure. And we will take a look at that in the morning just to see if it's running up there. And that is ONVO. And let's look at this SLNH right here. And Laptop Travel did just post the chart right here. So let me give you a look at it and I'll repost it out right there. And here you go, SLNH. That's Soluna Holdings. We've been watching this thing, and let's see. It got down into the basement today, but I'm pretty sure it started to run in the after hours. Let me take a look at it. Come on, pull it up here. SLNH. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, and it went 108 to 164. It closed at 138, and it does look much better. It has tried to curl up through a couple times, real tight. So we'll see if this one is it. And it did have that pullback because it came down to like $1, I think, today. Well, yeah, I said dollar, dollar eight. It came down to $1. Its high was 164, and it closed at 138. So that we'll see. It obviously got right down into the basement, but it's right there, so it could pull itself out. We'll look and see what it wants to do tomorrow. It's a capital market one, and these things have been trying to get set up as well. So we'll see SLNH, and it was running in the after hours. And they announced that it has secured the necessary land purchase agreement to build its new data center, Project Rosa. This milestone marks a significant step toward in expanding Soluna's capacity with up to and I gotta open that up, I guess, huh? Hold on, let me open it up so I can see what the rest of it says now. And let me see, where was it? Capacity, boom, boom, with up to an impressive 187 W or MW of renewable energy dedicated to powering next generation AI and Bitcoin mining operations. Securing these land agreements is a critical achievement for Soluna. And there you go. So there you go with that. And that's all in that message I just posted out. Thank you, Laptop Travel. Appreciate that right there. And so yeah, there you go with that. And we will keep an eye on it. Like I said, it might have bottomed out and might want to be bouncing for tomorrow. So we'll watch that SLNH and see what it wants to do for us for tomorrow. Let me just mark that. And what is that? CJSO? I don't know what I wrote. Oh no, it's CI. I swear I can't even understand my eyes, but that's CISO Global. It's on that trend line right there. It looks like it's just kind of hanging out. Let me see what this is up to right here. CISO. Not looking bad. It has these pullbacks like 110 up to 114, but goes down to 95, but closes at 114. So it's like every day it's dipping, but closing at its high. Keep an eye on this. I'll look at this tomorrow just to see what it's up to because you can't really tell, but it's doing exactly what I just said. And we'll see. It's right on that trend line and it wants to do something. So I will keep an eye on that one for sure. It's up 5 cents, it looks like, or it's up. Like I said, it gets to its high and sticks there and closes. So I'll take a look at that one for sure. And ENVB was down today. It's still in the basement, crossed through. I think it ran up there in the after hours. Did it not? It did. 137 to 209. It's at 209. So that one did run up in the after hours. And this one, it says it's up 70 cents to 188. And again, it still has it down here at like 118 on FinViz. But it's at 209 right here. And it just kind of got right through to 20 and looking good. So I would definitely keep an eye on ENV for tomorrow and just see if it wants to run up there on some momentum because it very well could after these in that after hours. But again, it could just be early. So keep an eye on it. And here we go. Keep on cruising and rock and roll right through this list. IGBK, let's see what that's up to. Hold on, what is that? Isn't that I think that's a OTC, that integrated cannabis. And remember, we looked at it last night and it looked like it was trying to top out. It does have a couple zeros in front of it, but it did bounce up again today. I don't know. Maybe it's trying to get I don't really know, to be honest. It's so hard with these OTCs, some of them. It has run up pretty well. And And again, I'm just not that great at these OTCs because I just don't really see them fully on the chart. So I don't get a good look at them. Let's put it that way. It is kind of up at the top. It's run up there, but maybe it wants to continue to run up there. Again, I'm just not the best with them. I wish I was a little better, but I still yet to find like real charts that I can really. And again, I'm looking at my trend spider because they don't even come up on FinViz. And yeah, I can tell what it wants to do somewhat, but I do like to have that second look. So maybe I can set up the trend spider and make it have a different look. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I could probably do that right there. And that what is it? NIVF. Let's take a look at that bad boy right here. NIVF. It's just a little flat. Recently did have that reverse split. It was running up the other day. I know we nailed that one perfectly. And that one still doesn't look bad. It pulled back too, but it did run up for us. I mean, exactly when we wanted it to. Still not looking bad. I think it's more or less healthy. Pull back your 20s right there, like in the 280s, and we're in the 240 area, 238. So keep an eye on this to try to run back up to that 20 because it's not looking bad to try to do it. And LAES, let's take a look at that seals Q Corp, and this one's actually not looking bad. This semiconductor one sitting right there, and multiple times right here. One, two. This is about to be like the third time it's going to try to cross through, guys. And what do you think's going to happen here? It's probably going to try to cross through. So we will keep an eye on LAES, and I'll even look at them other guys, the other semiconductor or the other computer hardwares and stuff. LAES, that one is looking much better tonight. So I'll look at that tomorrow, make sure it's staying there. And that ALBT, I think, is like something I used to think was a floor company. Yeah, Avalon Globo Care. Remember, I used to always say, because there's an Avalon flooring company, and I always thought it was a flooring company. It's a real estate company. And we had looked at this way before, guys, and it was probably down here in the threes, and now it's in the 650s. So I don't think we've been looking at it for a while here, but it definitely has been running up. I don't know if you want to chase it at this point. It's way up at the top, so not so sure you want to be chasing it, but we did look at that way before, and maybe people still had it and it would run up for you. But that one we were all over it like months ago. And that was ALBT right there. And let's look at that STSS because this one was trying to get set up. It tried to run out of the basement, and it actually did there on the 20th. And then it pulled itself right back in there. So let me take a look at it and see what it wants to do right here. And that is that Sharps technology. And let's see what it's doing. It hit them 20s and just could not break through it. And it doesn't, I mean, today it did dip down to like 26, under 26 and a half. We're back at like about 28, maybe just under 28. And we'll see it. It may have a little bit of pullback in it. It is in the basement. So I'll look at that STSS and see what it is up to right there. And FBGL, let's see that FBS Global. That's that one that just started out and today it got down to 73 cents. I know we just been watching it, trying to stay patient like all of them. That today could be your bottom look. So we will definitely look at it tomorrow. I will check it out and see. It looks much better to be that bottom. And again, we just been watching it pull back, so being patient right there. But this one obviously could run its way. It's in it. I don't know where it's at because it just started out. You can barely see anything, but you just can see you know, the lines, so you can get an idea of where it's at. And I think we could be bottoming out. Again, let me look at it. We've been watching it, and I'll see if it has. And if it did, it will be a good one to try to run that up, even though it's brand new. And that B hat pulled back again today. And let's see, it did come down to the MACD. It's under the 20 right there. And BHAT, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at it tomorrow. Again, they have been wanting to roll off that MACD, so we'd have to hope for that, but I'm not so sure it will. I'll have to look at BHAP. Maybe it will because the market hopefully is green tomorrow with NVIDIA and things can get bouncing. It could bounce right off that MACD, but I can't promise you on BHAT. we can look at it and see where it's sitting tomorrow. And that Carvana CVNA, that was up $6, and this thing's about to try to get curled up. It looks like yesterday was its bottom down there at 207, and right now it's at 223 CVNA. Remember, we were looking at this thing and it was pulling back, and I remember it was like way up here. So it ran up to that 310 on February 19th, and it was started to pull back here. And now it is looking much better for Carvana. So we will keep an eye on that bad boy, because that looks like it could be cruising back up for CVNA. I'm going to keep an eye on that one right there. Looks like it's trying to set up. Good old Walmart right here, WMT. Oh, let me see what WMT Walmart's up $4. Oh, this one looks pretty good too to try to curl back up. And again, these things were beat down. And yeah, Walmart looks really good. So keep an eye on Walmart. It's at 97, and it had come under the trend line. It looks like yesterday at that 92 was its bottom. And we'll see if it bounces off that 97, 98 area. It's going to get cruising right there. And that is WMT. Good old Walmart. Not looking bad. And IZM, let's see what that's doing. That's at Ixum Group, and it is running up. We looked at it yesterday. It wasn't looking bad, and that's why, because it's running up and looking even more solid today. It's looking better at 129 to 145, and it closed at 143. Keep an eye on that IZM for the morning and see what that can do. It can be a momentum play right there. And this ETHT is an ETF. Let's look at it. ETHT. It is that Pro Shares Ultra Ether ETF, and it is way down there and getting set up. It did cross through, and it looks like it's going to try to bounce off this bottom. So it does look a little better way down here. And again, that patience, yeah, it does look like it's going to try to start bouncing. So keep an eye on it. And like I said, I think crypto is going to be a great opportunity after this dip. Might not start popping exactly right away, but I think we're going to start moving up, and we will see all-time highs again real quick. And not exactly tomorrow, but we're going to see them within the next few months here. And then it will pull back again. So yeah, obviously you have to trade it smart, and then you can lock in a ton of profits right there. But there's your ETHT, and there you go. Let's go ahead and run through our laptop travels and our Jolie's jams, and then we'll see what our spy and them guys were up to. We'll see what you guys want to see. We will look at our crypto and see what it's looking like tonight, and then we'll get cruising along. So here we go. Let me know what you guys want to look at, and we will fly through these bad boys. ATCH was popped up yesterday. It did pull back today, and honestly, just look at it tomorrow, because it did hit that 20. And it could have just been some healthy pullback because it ran so crazy yesterday. So we have seen them do it. And I think Carvana is looking good there to reverse. I would say laptop travel. So I'll look at it tomorrow, but it is looking pretty healthy right there. And here's the chart for it, everybody. But yeah, ATCH not looking bad. That Atlas clear. We'll look and see if it's trying to move up. If it was healthy pullback, obviously, if it crushes through that 20 tomorrow, it's definitely coming back down. And BLMZ, good old blooms. And this one, let's see it. Just a little bit flat. We've been looking at it. It's kind of stair stepping up, actually. I think this one could get moving. Obviously, watch for any of them dips, because we know that they've been doing it. And BLNE is that East Side Distilling. It was a wine and distillery. Not looking bad right there. Almost trying to set up in a really good spot. Let me see what it did here. If I could type, here we go, BLNE. And it did run up the other day. What was that? The 19th. It got up to what? 139. And yeah, it's not looking bad. It went 83 to 71. It's at 73. But like I said, just coming back to that 20. It's not looking terrible right there. I'll keep an eye on BLNE right there. And good old CNET, CNET. And this one is ZW Data Action Technologies, and this thing's looking good. I mean, it's trying to make that, it's tried to make multiple hard curls up, and it's trying to make that hard curl up for tomorrow. I mean, I think it just might have made it at the end of the day, too. CNET. So this was on our list the other day. I remember it ran up to that 180 area. Maybe that was Monday, and now it just crossed through and looks good. I would keep an eye on CNET right there, guys, because that's not looking bad. And let's see what Dare's up to. Dare, for those that can't spell Dare. I guess you just didn't have Dare class as a kid. Remember that? You did like the drug and alcohol, and I don't remember what probably an education, but I have no idea what the R even stood for. Laptop Travel remembers it. And so, yeah, we used to go to Dare program. But anyway, this is Dare Bioscience. And every time you see Dare, you just think of that. And, whatever that was there. And let's see what this is daring to do right here. 309 to 323. And I'm telling you what, this thing's getting set up, guys. So keep an eye on DARE because it is looking good right here. Good old Dare. And it does look like it's trying to crawl up. It ran up to 335 the other day. And yeah, it got up to 323 today and trying to get moving. I would keep an eye on Dare right there. And DSWL, let's see, Deswell Industries. This one is curling up really good too. So I think we got a lot of them that are looking much better tonight than they did in the last 2 days. Let's put it that way. This one does look like it's trying to curl up. So keep an eye on that. And DC, I forget what this is. I can't even read it. Hold on. DTCK, that's what it is. DTCK, Davis Commodities right here was running. Let's look at it. DTCK, hold on. DTCK, there we go. Davis Commodities, and yeah, it was starting to run up. It did just curl through right there, 93 to 107. It's at 102 and looking pretty good. It's in that channel right there, but not looking bad. So it's going to hit some resistance pretty much right at that dollar area. Like I said, it's at 102, so it's kind of hitting that resistance. So see how it opens up tomorrow. But if it can jump up, it might get cruising right there for DTCK, and that is Davis Commodities. And ELBM. Let's see what that's up to. That one ran up yesterday. And let's see, it pulled back a little bit. Could just be a little healthy pullback. I'd have to look at it tomorrow. But yeah, I think that is just a little healthy pullback, and it's hitting that MACD and going to bounce back up for ELBM. And again, it ran up a little yesterday. GMHS, Game House Holdings. It almost looks like a shell company, but it's not. It's a electronic and gaming thing in China. And this thing is running that bottom right there and actually looking pretty good. GMHS. Might have to keep an eye on this one. Another one of them small cap China ones, not looking bad right there. It's like right on that 20. So I would keep an eye on that thing, especially with all the China small caps right there. And GSIW, I think we just looked at it the other day, Garden Stage, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is curled up, just a little pullback. And we did just look at it. I thought so. It looks familiar. GSIW. In that channel right there, ran up 58 to 64. It's back at 50, but it's just kind of sitting there. And your 50 is like right around there. Your 50 is like right at 51. So it's like right there. And it will probably stay in that channel right there for that GSIW and then get set up because you can see it was trying to run up yesterday, trying to run up today. It's over the MACD, just getting set up right there for that guy. And let's see for LGCB. That's at Linkage Global. And let's see what Linkage Global is doing right here. Tried to run up yesterday. A little healthy pullback over to 20 right there for LGCB. And yeah, it might even ran up in the air. Oh no, it probably gapped up there. Closed at 27, opened at 34, came back to 25. It's at 26. And your 20s right there, 26, and your 50s at 31. Probably going to stay in that little channel right there. And that's your LGCB, Q plus whatever. And LGHL, the Lion. Let's look at that one real quick. And that one was running up yesterday, I remember. And now it's just kind of sitting right there. It is getting set up LGHL, and that can be Q plus whatever too. And yeah, it's right in that channel right there, 16 to 15, and it's at 15. I mean, it's just sitting right there, not looking bad. And I think it's going to get set up, guys. It might have a few days in it, but I think the Lion gets set up right there. JAGX was down a little bit more today, and it was down yesterday. So we'll see where that bottom is, and we'll get that to run back up. So that's JAGX. And the Cheetah CTNT was down 5 cents as well. And that one was kind of just pulling back. Good old Cheetah CTNT. And yeah, what was it? 194 to 202, but did I actually closed up. 189 is what got down to, and it's at 198. The cheetah actually looks pretty good on mine. So we'll look at the cheetah tomorrow, CTNT, and we might as well look at our friend Red Cat RCAT. And Red Cat Holdings is still pulling back. And like I said, these things, that computer hardware, we'll take a look at them, but they hadn't looked that great. But that one did, LAES, that one's actually looking pretty good right there. And again, it's tightly just hitting the MACD. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Make sure it definitely wants to get through. You know that they like to bounce down. And they are your big cats, starting with your Lion LGHL and MKDW right here. Let's see what that's doing. MKDWL Tech, and let's see, that one's moving up, guys. That one should run up. It was up a penny, nothing crazy, but it is moving up. So 46 to 51, it's at 48. So yeah, it's just slowly moving up right there. Not looking bad for MKDW and MODV. That's Motive Care, and it's a medical care facility. And this one's trying to curl up and roll off that MACD. You can see right here for MODV. And yeah, it looks pretty bullish today. Yesterday, it looks like it just had a little dip down to 452, and that was its bottom. And we're at 515 right now, looking pretty good for MODV. So keep an eye on that one. And that OMMD, this one is getting set up. At least it was trying to get set up. It might take a little longer. It was right there, and I was looking at this one. ONMD. I think it might stay in that channel now. It was like right there, trying to get to be a good setup. And not that it's bad, but it's just staying in that channel. It was like one of them setups where you thought maybe it would try to jump up real fast, but it might not do it at the moment. And now it might just stay in that channel, which is no big deal. And like I said, it's at 99 up here is the 50 at 111. And it does have some resistance levels up here at like 117 area. So it did look like it was trying to get moving to jump up, but it didn't do it. And maybe it will try to tomorrow. We'll take a look at that ONMD. And if not, it'll just stay in that channel. ORIS, Oriental Rise Holdings. And this bad boy just went flat. Remember, we were looking at it the other day, right before it ran up pretty big. And because it was moving the other day, 112 to 198, and we were looking at it to continue to run up, and it did up to 270. Today, 163, but it came down to 111. It's at 123, and you could be pulling back here. We'll see. It's hitting that 20 area. I'll look at it, ORIS, to see if it wants to get set back up. PSHG, this one is trying to get set up. It's just kind of making a base right here. I don't know if it's really going to run crazy, but you'll get a little bit of movement right here as it's in this channel of 165. It's at 166. Look for it to get to that 173 area, and then you might get it to roll up even higher there. So that is that PSHG right there. And SFWL. That's like Shengfeng Development. And that is a China one. And let's see what that's doing. That was trying to get set up perfectly too. And I'm not saying it's not going to, but it was in one of them spots where we really like it and then kind of didn't get pop in the last few days. And it's in that channel, and it does look like it's going to try to curl up 101 and watch it try to get to 103 and start moving. So I would keep an eye on that SFWL right there. And let's take a look at SYBX. SYBS is sitting logic, and this thing's just sitting on a trend line. It came down a little bit in the regular hours. Maybe it ran up there in the after hours. Let me see, 138 to 141. It closed at 138 right there. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And another one just kind of bouncing around that channel. Nothing too crazy just yet. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And TCRT, let's look at that one real quick. And that one's trying to curl up, not looking bad right there. So keep an eye on TCRT. I'll look at that tomorrow. That could be a mover. I don't even know how to say that. Alanunos or something, therapeutics, something like that. I don't even know. It is a USA company, and I can't even pronounce them, but it is at that 20 right there at 164. We're sitting at 166, and watch it get up to that 179 area and try to bounce around there for a little bit. And that is your TCRT. And THCH, let's see, that one's actually looking pretty good right here. That one should get set up fairly quick right there. It's got a pretty small channel, 325 it should jump up to. It's at 315, so keep an eye on THCH because it's not looking bad right there. And that YSXT. Let's see what that's doing. YSX Tech. Did cross through. It doesn't look too bad right there. YSXT. I think it's fairly, maybe, yeah, it's fairly new. I think it started out, what, December 18th, it looks like. And it is crossed through. It does appear to be trying to set up, but it is kind of new. I'll take a look at that tomorrow just to get an idea. And ZBAO. Let's take a better look at this one. I know we've been looking at it and it's been trying to get set up. It's in that channel. And I would say keep an eye on the ZBAO. It obviously is a China small capper 154. It's an insurance broker and it is trying to get set up. That 20 and 50 are trying to meet up. And you know when they do, they basically pop it. And it's just going to run flat or just run in that channel kind of flat. And I think it's going to get set up. So we'll keep an eye on that to time that out. And good old Zone is setting up. We've been watching this one. And it's finally getting in a good spot here. Clean Core Solutions, ZONE. And I think it is getting into the zone 109 to 158. It closed at 125. And keep an eye on ZONE. It's getting into the zone. And there you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel, for those bad boys. Let's look at our Jolie's Jams real quick, and then we'll crush through our crypto and see what the SPY and everybody's doing, what you guys want to see. And we'll find our poppers for tomorrow and see what's going to be hopping and jumping around and what looks good. And obviously, we want to look at NVIDIA. So here we go. Let's get cruising right here and look and see what's going on with Agrify, AGFY. And that one pulled back. And I'm telling you what, this thing's getting to be in a good spot pretty soon, too. So I will keep an eye on Agrify. We've been watching it. Our Blink BLNK, this was bottoming out. And I think today might have been your bottom, so I will definitely look at that tomorrow. Sezzle was moving, guys, up $7. I saw it today. And they what? Did they have earnings today? They did. Their earnings look pretty good, and it bounced right off that 20 and 50. It's not looking bad, so keep an eye on good old Sezzle. And it did run 280 to 355. Wow. And it's at 342. So yeah, Sezzle was moving. I did see that, and it did run like $50 in the after hours. So there you go. It's Sezzle, and that Sterling is starting to move. I think we finally got its bottom. It kind of bounced out of there today, and that one had its earnings today. So again, they bottomed out and then it starts moving on that earnings all the way down here. It got down to 105 and now it's at 118 around, and it has tried to crawl through multiple times. We'll make sure that tomorrow it really wants to get moving here and actually get crossed through. But yeah, Sterling could be a good one. It was over 200 and now it's at 115. So that was a pretty good dip on that. So we will keep an eye on it. Good old Rivian. Let's see what they were up to today. Hope if I could type it in. They were down 50 cents. It looks like Rivian's going to be pulling back some. And good old Symbotic right here was down 93 cents and looks like it's pulling back a little bit more. And there's your Jolie's Jams right there. And let's go ahead. We'll just crush right through the SPY and all them bad boys. We'll hit crypto and see what you guys want to see. And our SPY was pulling back. And honestly, it's hitting that trend line right there. And it held it. It tried to hold itself. I mean, it closed around 594 and it looks like it jumped up in the after hours to that 595, which is a pretty critical spot right there. Your 50s right here at like 599. But again, it was sitting on this trend line right here. Your trend line's right around 593-ish. So, and like I said, your 50's like right there at 599. And we're sitting, it says right around 595. So we'll see. It could curl up tomorrow, and it is going to be NVIDIA that's going to do it, obviously. So let's go ahead, look at the other ones, see what they're all looking like, and go ahead and see what we're going to get into tomorrow. Apple was down 6 cents. That has been running. It's towards the top. I don't know if it's terrible. It could pull back while that 20 and 50 are meeting up, and then it shoots up. So just look and see if Apple does pull back a little bit. And Amazon, I think that bottomed out today. It hit that bottom, and you had a nice dip down there at 204. You're back at 213 right now. And I think Amazon might be one to look at. So keep an eye on Amazon right there. I think that might be looking good. And let's see what Google does. That was down 382. And let's see. And remember, I mean, this thing was trying to pop up, and then once we discovered that little secret of that trend right now, we knew Google wasn't ready, and it did pull back some more. It almost tried to fake me out the other day on that trend line, and that's why we're not worrying about all them and really paying attention to these charts and being patient because you have to be right now. So Google is pulling back. Meta came down another $10, but it is hitting that trend line. So we'll see tomorrow. I think we get a bounce back up for Meta, and that could be its pullback. Good old Microsoft was down like $6 today, came way down. And again, it tried to curl through. We should have known. I mean, we do now know that it wasn't going to go through the other day. I think it tricked a lot of people because it was looking good. And then it hit that it hit that MACD and just came crashing down there. We definitely know now that it's going to do it. Excuse me. So I know we wouldn't get fooled this time if it happens, but yeah, it definitely was tricking us that when it was setting up right there. And the video was down 365, and this came underneath of a nice support line. And they obviously have their earnings tomorrow, and it's going to be a big deal because I'm telling you, it's holding itself up on the 200, the SMA 200, which is like a really big deal right here. Let me see. I'll just look and see when was the last time that it really came down onto the 200 right here. I have to look. I can't even find it. It's still going down, not even on it. Yeah, I don't think it's been down there. I'll tell you right here. Here's the day. What day? In 2023. This is January 13th of 2023 is the last time it hit the moving day average for that 200. So there you go, right down there. How crazy is that? And what it do? It hit that and just started to run. And yeah, it literally came under that for a short moment. Crossed down, and your 50, your 20, everybody were combined right there. So you can kind of tell it was going to roll up. And then, yeah, it just started cruising, and it was down here at like $15 and it ran up to 45. So that's what it was back then at $15. And again, they had obviously not split. Well, they split it. It wasn't like a bad reverse split, but at 1300 it got split up there, so that's post them prices. But again, it was yeah, I mean, it hasn't been down at these levels in a long time, I'm not gonna lie. So we will definitely keep an eye on it. And obviously it's been down here. The other day it was down at these levels, but I think this is crucial right here because if it really comes down, and it very well could, it can come down to that 118. And so yeah, it's going to be a crazy one tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. If it does come down, I think we might see a little bit of a bloodbath and get some really good price in action. So in the video, I hope you're doing a good workout and we're up for the test tomorrow because I feel like the whole planet's just sitting on your shoulders right now. So there you go in the video. Let's step it up for tomorrow and let's see what Tesla's doing because it was down another $27. And that one again, here we go. Here's your 1, 2, 3. And it's going to cross through this time. So see if it pulls down through this trend line. But yeah, the next time it's going to get set up and start moving. And that is Tesla. It might get into the basement right there, though. So it's down to 300. We'll see how low it wants to go. AMC was down, but I think it started to move in the after hours. When were their earnings? Weren't they yesterday? Oh, no, they were today, actually. And I don't know what the hell happened with their earnings, but something happened with their earnings. And again, we never really look at it, but it is pulling back there for AMC and GameStop right here. Let's look at GameStop. That one was pulling back a little bit as well. Let's look at Unity. That was definitely down. I saw that one. That one might be pulling back. And our Chewy, I think that was up. Yeah, that was up. And it's hitting that trend line. And Chewy could be trying to bounce back up here. So we will keep an eye on CHWI and see. It looks like it tried to bottom out right there, and it might be trying to move. So we will keep an eye on CHWI. And how about good old Netflix was down $11, and it could be coming down to that 950. We'll see. It looks like it wants to be honest with you. And that AVGO is down another $5. And again, it could be be coming down some more. So we'll look at it. I kind of feel like it might. I guess we'll have to see what goes on tomorrow. MU, that Micron was down, hit that trend line. It could bounce back up tomorrow. And again, the video, I think everything's relying on that, obviously. And TSM was down 228, hitting that trend line. It does look like it wants to come down some more, guys. So like I said, I'm not so hopped up for Nvidia to really save the world, but hopefully it does. SMCI though, they did filed their 10K or whatever it was, and it did bounce up there in the after hours. I don't even know what the hell their earnings did. I have no idea if they were good, bad, or whatever, but they did do that filing and it did bounce up there. So it's at like $55 right now. It closed at 45 or 56 it is. So yeah, SMCI, that one ran up. AMD, let me see. Let's see what AMD's doing. And that one pulled back as well. And it's at 103. But guess what? That one looks like it wants to try to squeeze up there. We'll see. If it not, it's going in the basement. So another one probably relying on the video right there tomorrow. And QCOM was up a little bit today. It had pulled back, and I don't know if it's really ready. I think it's parachuting itself down. But again, the video could make it move up. Intel INTC right here was down $1.28. That looks like it wants to come down a little bit more at the moment. And PayPal, that's been trying to get set up, and it's been pulling back, and it's now at the bottom. And another one, I think we would definitely know that that wasn't going through. It's probably going to try to get through, not even this time. This will be the third time. So PayPal may have a little bit of setup time as well. And let's look at SNOW, good old snow, and that was down, and that looks like it could be coming down big time. And they have earnings, what, tomorrow? And that does, I mean, it looks like it's going to be coming down to hit that bottom anyway. So we'll see what Snow's up to if it wants to fall some more. And good old Dell was down 348 hitting, but Dell does look like it's going to try to get set back up. They have earnings coming up as well, and it's Thursday. So Dell looks like it might be trying to get set back up. We'll look at it tomorrow. And again, they're just all over the place with this NVIDIA tomorrow. And PLTR is down another 284, and it's down to 87 right now, but it is hitting that 50. So definitely be careful because it could try to bounce off of that one. And good old Sophie was down a little bit, and that's been pulling back and looks like it wants to a little bit more. We know Mara and Riot are pulling back. Then they have Mara, somebody had earnings, right? Or they do tomorrow. They do tomorrow. Mara has earnings tomorrow, and that's just pulling back. It got into the basement there, and I don't expect it to move because of crypto. And Riot got down there, and they had their earnings yesterday. I think they were good, and it's still pulling back. So, and it's dipping, obviously, with crypto. CLSK was down 75. That's probably going to get into the basement. And good old MicroStrategy's down $32 and looks like it's about to hit the basement as well and stay in there. And Coinbase was coming down $14, and that might come into the basement tomorrow. So let's look at DJT because that came down $1.92, and that's going into the basement. And I guess making the market look like this, it should go into the basement right now. And Funware is going in the basement, and that thing was so good looking. So it is a disaster right now. And MTN, that didn't want to run. It was trying to. It's bounced up off that MACD like 100 times, and it just can't get moving. So that's staying down there for Val. And let's look at McDonald's MCD. That's actually up. Remember we said it looked good? I think McDonald's might actually run tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. I guess Trump's been buying some Big Macs. And Boeing right here is down $1.64 and does look like it wants to pull back some more. And let's look at space. That's been a disaster. It was down a little bit more. I think they have earnings coming up maybe tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow they have their earnings. So I could see that one coming down. Maybe like I said, it's just been a disaster for that one. And IBM came down another $4. It was trying to get set up, and I think IBM might be pulling back. We'll look at it tomorrow and see if it can hold itself up right there. So that is good old IBM. It's hitting that 20, so that's why I want to see if it can hold itself up for IBM. And let's take a look and see what Disney is up to. It was running up yesterday, just a little pullback, but it's setting up. It's not looking bad. has a bunch of tight little bounces up on that MACD. So, and it's gone what once, twice. It's probably not ready yet because it's probably got to do it a couple more times. And let's look at that Oxy. That was down, but ExxonMobil, that was actually down. That one looked like it was trying to set up yesterday. So I would keep an eye on ExxonMobil and see if it can. It came down all the way to that 50 today, but it never crossed through and it didn't look too bad. I was looking at it. So keep an eye on XOM, ExxonMobil. Maybe that'll start to run. We'll look at it. And Nike's been running up, guys. I don't know. They have good stuff going on right there. So, and we liked it down at 70, and now it's at 81 something in the high 81s, like 81.78. So there you go for Nike, and it's not looking bad to be honest. And that DXYZ was down a lot more, and it looks like it's pulling back. So that is that Destiny's Tech. And remember, we were looking at it when it was way up here at 77. We were like, is this thing ever going to pull back? Yeah, it definitely did. And I would look for it at that 30. So there you go. I mean, everything had run up there, and now it's all pulling back. That's for sure. So we are getting some good bargain prices down here. And that's what the SPY and the big caps are looking at like. And you know we're definitely going over them at 7 a.m., especially NVIDIA. What time Luis Rodriguez on here or Laptop Travel or anybody? Does anyone know when the NVIDIA earnings are? Are they in the pre-market or after hours? I have no idea. I didn't look at what time, so we'll have to take a look at that and see. And yeah, the SMCI did file their 10K, and that one did roll up. Their net sales were what 14 million nine something, and an increase of 110% compared to the fiscal year 2023. And so yeah, I mean that company, we knew they were filing that thing. I mean, we said it, and it wasn't even a question right there. Our question is Nvidia tomorrow. That's the question right now. So. And again, I'm looking at it and it's hitting that MACD. It could go either way. So it is definitely an interesting one. I'm curious what time they come out and what it's going to do to the market because it's definitely crazy right there. 5 o'clock, beautiful. So it's after hours. Thank you very much, Laptop Travel. Greatly appreciate it. So NVIDIA's earnings report, Q4 earnings call, 5 p.m. So there you go. We'll be watching it tomorrow. And again, we'll be able to tell as it's jumping around tomorrow. The market's just going to be all over the place. And we thought Sunday night it wasn't going to be a crazy week. Well, there you go. And maybe it'll get cranked up for Thursday or it's going to be dipping hard. So we'll know tomorrow probably during the day, honestly, because we've been able to tell for the most part how they're setting up with earnings. And I'll look and see how it looks tomorrow. And I'll have a better idea probably by lunchtime, I would assume. If earnings are at 5, I would have to think by like 2 o'clock, it should be set up and ready for it. So I will definitely keep you guys posted, you know that. And let's go ahead and just look real quick. I'll just run through crypto real fast since it's pretty easy and it's all down big time. And then I'll go through and take a look at what you guys want to see. And we'll go through the scanners and that good stuff and see what's going to be popping. And here we go. Let me just take a look at crypto. And Bitcoin is at 89,000 right now. It looks like Sol's at 144. Ethereum's at 2,500 exactly. Ripple's at 232. And Cardano ADA is at 69. Chainlink's at 1551. Doge is at 21. And let's get looking and see what they look like. And I'm telling you, I love that stock cube. That crypto cube is amazing. It's called a stock cube. I use it for crypto. And I do have the SPY on there as well. And it tells me exactly where that's at. And it is right on the money at 594. It didn't give the after hour price, but that's all right because this thing sets up in the morning and it's dead on. Whatever FinViz, this runs with FinViz. So whatever the software, I would have to ask exactly. Hey, you know what? It's exactly how it's programmed, and that's all right. So I see that. All righty. All right. I see something, I think. I think I might have just figured something out possibly here. So I might have to look into that. But yeah, the stock cube is awesome. I'm telling you, it just scrolls around all day with awesome pricing. And you can set it up if you want big caps, indexes, all kinds of stuff. So very cool product. I definitely love it. And Bitcoin is at 89, so at least it's up from 88 and 86. I think it was even down lower than that. What did it get down to today? What was it at? 85 it was down to. And yeah, I mean, it's down to the 30. It got to the basement. Everything did. So I'm expecting things to try to bounce back up, maybe not immediately, obviously. And again, I think we might see some stimulus checks come out and all this stuff. I think it was brought down on purpose. It's a great buying opportunity. And then you're going to see these things running for the next few months and hitting all-time highs. And then obviously they'll be pulling right back down. So you're definitely going to have to lock in those profits. And Solana is at 144. It's in the basement, guys. So, and it tried to crawl through that one, two, three, and the next one it's going through. So we'll be watching it for sure. And Ethereum's at 2,500 exactly right there. And let's see what that one's doing. And that one is hitting the MACD, trying to pull itself back up. So maybe Ethereum's trying to bottom out right there, to be honest with you. And Doge is at 21. Let's see, because that one was trying to run it. It already crossed through. It pulled back, and that's in the basement. So yeah, they got them all down in the basement, guys. Cardano's at 69 right here. And let's see what that's doing. Let me see. And that's hitting the 200 right there, Cardano. And it is making its way probably down. So that one could pull back a little bit more and get down to that 30. So yeah, I think that they're just pulling them all right there. And that's what you're seeing, to be honest with you. Let's take a look and see where ETF is. ETF 500. I did not look at it before I hopped on. And let's just take a look and see. Let me refresh it so it gives me the fresh data right there. Oh, that is fresh, huh? And it is at, let me see, 5.4 million. So it is up because it was in the 4 million. And yeah, I'm telling you guys, I'm just telling you, you just know it's going to be a solid one. And when these things start moving around and and crypto starts running back up, that thing will obviously run up. You got Solana down at 144 right now. So, and that thing kind of held its weight. I mean, if you look at anything else that really in crypto, they all took a huge smash. And I mean, the Joustol one went from like 21 cents down to like, is it under a penny now? It could be. Let me look. It might be. I have to look real quick. I mean, these things just got destroyed and they were scams. So obviously you can tell what's not a scam. Um, yeah, it's at 1 cent, but it's just over like it's at like 0.01047. So it's really not cruising. And again, people were buying that thing. It ran up to 21 cents. And mad people were buying that stupid coin and they got jammed up. And yeah, you got some pullback here on ETF 500, but it's literally some pullback. And it's gonna fly. Like I explained, he's going to lock up most of that supply right there. And once that happens, it makes it way more valuable. And these bots can't get in. The algorithm doesn't like that. So, and he doesn't have anybody real big in this thing, though, like big money mark, like institutions or anything. They're not involved in it, so they can't really fluctuate it as much. So when they get involved in these things, or like a Portnoy or somebody, you're destroyed because look at what happens. He buys a bunch and then they pull the rug and you're screwed. You can't even sell it at that point. So there you go with that. That's your crypto report. And again, I'll let you know when they're all bottomed and I'm definitely loading up some more. I buy it and yeah, Joustol, he's just a jowl rugger for sure. I'm telling you, that thing is so far down. If you look at that chart here, you want to look at it, Laptop Travel just posted it. So here you go. And yeah, I mean, you can just clearly see what they did, and it was ridiculous. And again, if he didn't make the coin, the person that made it, so it's just crazy, guys. So the ones that are going to be going up and that you can trust, and you see what happened. I explained exactly the state of meme coins the week before all of it really got exposed. We all knew it was going on, so it wasn't a surprise to us, that's for sure. So there you go with that, and that is your crypto. And like I said, I think it's going to be a great opportunity. And just remember, Trump's going to make these things run, and in the summertime, everyone's going to forget that these things were down here at these bottoms, and everyone's going to be like, "Woo!" chasing them up there. But guess what? You load up when they're down here, and that's when you sell them when they're up there, and everyone's chasing it, and then you just sit back and have a great summer. So. Just a little advice, not even advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So you guys do whatever you want, obviously, because this is not any kind of it's all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I'm just letting you know what I look at and my experience, and I like to get it why it's way down and everybody's in a panic. And then when everybody's starting to buy it again and it gets into the news, the mainstream media starts talking about things. I like to be long gone and sitting back on the sidelines. So that's the way you want to look at it, to be honest with you. So keep your eyes like that and you'll do pretty well. So there you go for your crypto report. We did our SPY and big caps and all that good stuff. So let me go through and see what you guys want to see because I know I missed a few of them here and I saw some popping up. Let me just take a quick look and see what's going on. Hold on real quick. Oh yeah, Reefer Madness movie. Every health class wanted us to watch. You're absolutely right. It was crazy. And look at that propaganda machine, guys. Now you got a dispensary like on every corner in like almost every state. It's ridiculous. So and there you go. And some stocks that have been up 5 days in a row, which means something in this market this week. You have that ALBT and the EPRX, AVA, and BGS. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna get moving around right here. And let me see. There you go. Barbara had a couple that CDT and ADD. We were looking at them yesterday. I meant to add CDT today. It was up a penny. I know we were looking at it. It's just running at bottom. It doesn't look bad, to be honest. It ran up a little bit today. And let's see what it's doing here. 138 to 144, pull back to 120 at 127, but it doesn't look bad. It's trying to run up. Did run up a little bit there, so it does not look bad trying to curl up there. And let's look at ADD, that color star. And this thing's just kind of flat right there today. Just been this thing runs around a lot. I know that. That ADD, what 118 to 122, down to 112, and it's at 113. Yeah, it's just kind of bouncing around, trying to make a base. It looks like that bottom should be right down here around that 111 area. What it get down to today? 112. So I think you're probably getting to that bottom area. I don't think it's going to get back into the basement. I think it's making a base to try to set up. But obviously, you got to be patient and look for that dip and rip because they are all doing it. So there you go, Barb, with that. I hope that helps out. And let's see what else is going on real quick. Let me see if I missed anything else. Boyle, let's look at that one, Luis Rodriguez. I mean, we called that one super early, and it was running up more today. And you're right, it does look like it wants to run up some more. So I would say Boyle's trying to curl back up and looks pretty healthy. It topped out the other day at 96.81, and it's back at 90 trying to move up. So there you go with Boyle. And BABA, what's up with that? Is on fire. Let's look at it. Let's see what that one's doing. Good old Baba. And yeah, it's up $5 and more in the after hours. And this thing was in the top and then it pulled back out and it looks like it wants to run back up there. So yeah, keep an eye on BABA and see if that thing wants to cruise back in the top. I agree with you, Luis Rodriguez, on that. Didn't really look at it, but it doesn't look too bad right there. How about that icon? Let's look at ICON, see what that's doing right here. ICON, Icon Energy Corp. And that one's still in the basement down 2 cents. These penny ones have been really tough right now. With the last few days with these dips. Maybe that's the bottom at 19 cents. It's back to 22. I'll look at it tomorrow. It doesn't look terrible, so we'll see if it has any bigger dip and rip situations right there on ICON. And let's take a look and see. Boom. Let's see. 1 minute before the close today, someone bought $250,000 worth of SMCI 50 calls, 500 contracts at 510, and it's rough. Worth roughly 1 million at open. So there you go, right there. And I won't lie, it was me. No, I'm just kidding. But nah, I was looking at them too. Trust me. So it was definitely so you could tell it was going to happen, and especially we knew they were filing that thing. So there you go with that. I think I just rolled through and saw everything. I think I got everybody. Not a whole lot happening right here. HCTI, what's that up to? Let me see. HCTI. healthcare triangle. That does look like it's trying to bottom out. Let me see, because it was trying to pop up on that MACD. It did run up there today one time. This will be the second. It's hitting that 50. It did run up today, 35 to 79. It's at 69. Look at it in the morning, see if it can run up a little bit more in the morning there. It might keep that momentum right there. But yeah, it definitely ran up in the after hours for you. And let's see what else. I think we got everything right there. And yeah, that SLNH, everybody likes that one for sure. That's Soluna. And obviously, we looked at it, and like I said, it's right there in the bottom. Let me just take a better look again. SLNH. And yeah, oh yeah, it ran up in the after. I 108 to 164. It pulled back to $1 today, and it's at 138. And like I said, it's been making them tight curl ups and hitting that MACD and bouncing. It did it once, twice, three times, four times. This could be like the fifth time. So yeah, I'm telling you, they're all doing it, and it looks much better. So I would keep an eye on that SLNH. It does look pretty good right there. Let me see. Did I miss anything else? Sean wants to see a couple VRT. Let's look at that one real quick. What's VRT? What is that? Vertiv Holdings right here. That actually looks pretty good, Sean, coming down and off that trend line right there, off that dip. And yeah, I could see that one trying to move. What bottom today at 84 something? It's at 93. That one doesn't look bad. VRT not looking bad there. TTD, what's that? TTD Trade Desk. We looked at this the other day. Yeah, definitely take a look at this. Remember, it was way down TTD. And I remember we definitely looked at it. I will definitely keep an eye on TTD and write that one down right there. You might want to keep an eye on that one, Trade Desk. That one's looking pretty good to try to get set up, and just make sure that bottom should be right around that $70. It's at 75. So keep an eye on that one. And TMO, let's see what that one's doing. Thermo Fisher Scientific, and that one looks really good. You're right. That bottom was the other day down here at like 520. You're at 541 and looking much better. So I like all three of them right there, Sean. TMO looking good. So keep an eye on that one as well. So that one looks good, trying to curl up there. And we'll see. I mean, it looks pretty solid. Maybe it'll run up to this 50 right here to like 547 and get set back up. It is trying to curl up. So we know that they do take a couple times to get through. So, but they are looking good right there, Sean. I like them. And again, I think Nvidia is going to have a huge part to do with whatever's happening tomorrow in the market. And obviously, the earnings are after the market closes, but we'll be able to see how it's setting up and what's going on. Let's just take a look at the scanner and see if we see anything on there that jumps out to us. That ONVO we looked at, Nvidia, obviously, Tesla is down, SMCI ran up. And PLTR was coming down. Wafu ran up. Lucid still pulling back there. Let it pull back. And that Ford is, like I said, Ford is trying to get set up, guys. Let's look at it real quick because it is looking a little better. Hitting some trends or hitting some trends, hitting some resistance right there. But I'll keep an eye on Ford. It is trying to get set up, so I'll keep an eye on it. And let's see what else is happening. This ETHU is that two-time Ether one. And yeah, that one doesn't look too bad. Is that the one that we had looked at, I think, earlier? Yeah, no, we looked at ETHT, so that's a different one, but not looking bad. And HIMS is way down there, down another $11. And RETO ran up. Look at that in the morning. And what's our SQQ doing right here? Let's look at it. This is the Ultra Pro short, and it does look like it's trying to run up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at the QQQ. And that one does look like it's pulling back. So, yeah, I'm not so sure it's going to look great. And maybe it's down tomorrow, and then in the after hours, it gets popping tomorrow if NVIDIA's earnings are afterwards. So, it's a very good possibility that that could happen as well. That DNN, we were definitely looking at this. It's that uranium one. And just pulling back to that bottom, and I'm going to keep an eye on that because that could be a good setup coming up. MFI ran up. LYG, Lloyd's Banking, that ran up right there. And check out this Damon DMN. That's a fairly new one down here. Just got into the basement. I'll have to take a look at that one. and that applied is pulling back. RGTI, like I said, they're just pulling back, and BHAT is. And I think we saw everything. This open is moving up. I discussed this one the other day on that small cap. I've been talking about this thing, and this thing's about to move. So take a look at open. It's a real estate one, and it is looking much better right there. So yeah, take a look at that guy and that XLF. That's a ETF right there. Nothing too crazy, like I said. Let me look over here, see if I see anything else real quick. FMTO, that one ran. That was at Femto. We looked at that one and that Wafu. And what's this one? ADIL was running up there. And take a look at, let's see, anything else grabbing my attention? No, no, no. I don't really see anything that crazy, to be honest with you. Nah, not really anything. Let's see what this is doing right here. I don't even know what this is. This is like a bond one. I don't really mess with them ones, so that's nothing. And yeah, I don't really see anything else. Let me see what's going on over here. The vibes on Wall Street are starting to sour. Just look at these six charts. So we just looked at enough of them. Global assets regain composure. Hang Seng rallies, whatever that is, and yield slump with dollar as U.S. growth worries way. Asia shares edge up. Wall Street braces for Nvidia earnings, and stock futures rise after S&P 500 posts fourth losing day. Nvidia earnings loom. So we definitely know what's going on. That's for sure. Let me see what's trending over here on stock twits. And then we'll just kind of wrap it up. And tomorrow will be a fun day, and I'll be on all day, obviously. SMCI's up, Lunar's down, CAVA. What is that one? Cava Group. I thought so. I was gonna say. I think that's the name of it. They had earnings. That's in the basement. SMCX. What's that? That's the SMC. The ETF. So that's up. Zeta. What is that one? ZETA. Zeta Global Holdings. They had earnings, and that looks like it's pulling back. FSLR, First Solar, that one had earnings and looks like it's pulling back. And let's see, XPEV. I know we've looked at this one. That's a China auto manufacturer. It's hitting the top. I probably wouldn't mess with that one. DNA, isn't that Ginkgo Bioworks? Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Ginkgo Bioworks is what it's called. I knew it was something like that. They had earnings, and that's pulling back. That's CADL. What did they have earnings too? I know there's a lot of earnings going on. CADL, that one just came down. It was in the top, and that one just pulled back. And Lemonade, LMND, this one we talked about before. It was way up there in the 50s, and it just pulled back and looks like it's going to come down some more. So there you go. That's what's trending on stock twits right there. And yeah, it's all over the place. And again, everything's just kind of waiting for that Nvidia earnings tomorrow, and that will be at 5 o'clock. So that'll be exciting. And tomorrow should be a wild day. And again, I think it might be pulling back, and then maybe it bounces afterwards. I'll keep you guys posted. You know that. And of course, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for our pre-market to see what the market's doing, what it looks like, do our Joey's jumpers, our laptop lowdowns, look at crypto, see if it can look any better, and then see what our spy and everybody's doing. So, excuse me. So, yeah, there you go. 7 a.m. Make sure you're back on. You know, we'll be here and we'll be checking out the market, breaking it down. And it's a pretty important day, I think. And I guess every day's been pretty big. And especially right now, there's a lot of overreactions and big reactions going on. But we've got to see what NVIDIA is up to. So, there you go, everybody. I'd say that's a pretty good market review, and we kind of know it's popping and hopping and looking good for tomorrow. So we will be keeping our eyes on them things, and I'll keep you updated, and we'll be back at 7 a.m. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, especially Laptop Travel for your list. And Asian Jolie for your Jolie's Jams, Winter Mute, Doge Mama 9, Luis Rodriguez for all your help, Joseph J, and there's Rich Superman's on there, and Bam Trading's on, And who is this? And Newt Caps is something ANNUIT. I don't know. Sinido, Lynn, Lloyd Sense. How are you tonight? Sean, Alicia, how you doing? And Zach, how's it going this evening? Everybody else that was tuning in, greatly appreciate it. And those of you that catch the replay, thank you very much. Let me know what you guys want to see in the morning, and make sure you check out the YouTube. I have them pretty updated, obviously. I've been keeping them updated, and I really want to figure out how to do this live, so I might just do it on YouTube live. I'll figure it out in the next few days, and we'll start shooting these bad boys live as well, so you can listen to Spaces, see them live, do all that good stuff, and really get it moving to the next level. So as I'm telling you, these dips are going to be some amazing opportunities, and they could be pretty life-changing for some people, trust me. And you always say when they happen, in that panic time, everybody panics. I never panic about it. I just embrace it, and then a few months later, everybody goes, "Damn, I should have loaded up on that." So just remember, it happens all the time. It rinses and repeats. So just remember that. And it's all psychology. And just look at the big guys when they start buying up things. They wait for them to get down to the bottoms, and then they start buying it up. And again, you just got to make sure you lock in those profits. So that's the most important thing, obviously, is trading them smart. But we do find the bottoms, and then you just got to get your profits out and just keep on cruising. So there you go, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And you guys know all information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Catch you guys at 7 a.m. So have a good night, and I'll see you for pre-market.